The question we've been asked is, what's the best practice, that you always recommend when you actually use ULaw? The thing that we recommend with ULaw is on every weekend, like, maybe a Friday night or a Saturday night or a Sunday night, we always look at, we recommend that you look at the few law society guidelines that you have and your state of your business. To do that, we will separate this section into two parts. What are the two documents that are very important that you need to check, with respect to law society every week, so that, like, you kind of see the state of the business. The first one is your trust reconciliation statement. To do that, you can go on balances, trust, and you'll hit that download button. When you hit the download button, what you'll all do is it'll create a reconciliation statement very similar to what the law society actually wants, and you can actually review and start filling in these five fill in the blank, which is like, what is your trust balance today? What are some of the outstanding checks? What are some of the outstanding deposits, bank errors, if any? And then you want to add them up or subtract them based on what they've recommended in these statements, and find your reconciled mixed balance. And then you go to the last line of this document and see if that balance that you transferred is exactly same as what ULaw is telling you. Another document that the Law Society really cares about is FeeBook. To do that, you'll click on FeeBook. Generally check like last 14 days. That's what we actually, or the last 7 days, or even go for a monthly and just review it. So in ULaw, if you look at the fee book, we tell you all the fees that you collected, basically all the invoices, the disbursements that you raised to your client. We tell you how it, if you had given him any discount, were there any bad credits, we tell you all that. We also give you some small analytics to tell you, like, how your business is actually functioning. So it kind of like, you can try and look at that. So these two documents, the fee book and the reconciliation statement, are pretty much mandatory on a weekly basis. We would strongly recommend that you do this on a Friday night when everything is fresh in your memory about that week. Make sure that the balances are all good. When it comes to general business health, how is your business actually doing? We recommend three documents. The first one is, again, balances general. You'll download that. The next one that we recommend is what we call the expense book, very similar to fee book, okay, but on the opposite side of how much you're actually spending. And the last document that we recommend is the balance sheet. So do a balance sheet and download. Now, you want to place these three documents next to each other and try and compare your business health. In the balance sheet, there are very important things that you want to make sure. What do you want to make sure? That your balance on your pool trust account, your interest bearing, and your assets, all these assets are exactly correct. This is what you think it should be. Then on your general balance, what you want to make sure is these are all the people who haven't paid. You want to make sure you're comfortable with that list, that this is the owing list. And the last one is your expense sheet. You want to make sure that you covered all the expenses that you actually made in this week. Now, those can be either client expenses or they can be even office expenses. Like, for example, there's an interest for trust. There was like something that you bought at Staples Business Depot. These are all the expenses that you had on the client. Like, you can verify these three documents and make sure that for that week, everything looks pretty much equivalent to what you actually really have in your business. Now, if you want to take it a little further, there are other documents in ULaw that can be very useful as well. One of the things that we really recommend that you actually do is what we call the profit and loss statement. That gives you a range of a mixture, exactly what we saw, the amount that you collected this week and the amount that you paid this week, and shows you a quick summary and also some analytics that you will enjoy to see how your business is actually doing, where you can actually invest more time. The last and the final document that we recommend, if you have time in your hands, is what we call the aging document. So you can do an aging document of your receivables. This document will take a few seconds to download, but what it'll give you is how people have not been paying you. Like, it gives you a list of all these people, how long you've been your bad offenders. There are some key recommendations at the bottom which you can read to see what actions you can take on these people. Gives you an idea of your invoice, payment balance. Again, there's a key recommendations, what steps you can take at looking at this report and what you can infer. And the most important thing that we would like to stress is monthly invoices paid, how you've been invoicing every month and how you're getting paid every month. So these analytics and these charts can really help you. So to summarize, the most important thing that we recommend that you do is you do a balance sheet in ULA and make sure that your assets are all good and your receivables are good. Ensure that what you think the client actually owes is what you need to collect, and you can find out like when is the last payment he actually made. Review your expense book. So a final summary for the law society: you need to do document generation, balances, trust, and a FeeBook on a very regular basis. For the state of your business, what you really owe to yourself, you need to go balances general, the real balance sheet itself, and we also recommend you do an expense book, and finally you do an aging of receivables.